Coming in at number 10 today, we have the mattress photo controversy. So Gucci is currently receiving backlash on social media from social media users for an ad campaign that was posted on December 19th starring Harry Styles. Since last week, the brand has continued to post photos of Styles on Instagram while they were promoting Gucci's Ha 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 campaign. In the ads, Harry could be seen posing with what appears to be a smaller sized mattress as he is dressed in a teddy bear graphic tee and trousers. While the campaign was first introduced back in November, Gucci is now facing criticism for the set props. With the props being a children's mattress, many people have been addressing their concerns, with one person saying, "Why is a toddler bed in this? Why the teddy bear t-shirt? What is the angle aside from Strange Things?" And a lot of people have been pointing out that the similarities that Gucci's campaign had are pretty similar to Balenciaga's campaign. That was embroiled just weeks before online after the campaign involved children holding French labeled teddy bears wearing some adult gear. With Balenciaga and Gucci being owned by the same company, the controversy wasn't really a shock to many. However, now it just proves that something concerning is going on with parent company Kering, as they keep bringing children into their campaigns under concerning circumstances. Though Gucci hasn't really spoken out about the ads yet, the campaign came to light under the director of Alessandro Michele, who since left the company after becoming the creative director back in 2015. Coming at number 9, the Vogue cover. So back in November 2020, Harry Styles would make history as he became the first non-female to have a solo cover in Vogue magazine in the 128 years it's been in print. For his cover shoot, Harry would end up being photographed by Tyler Mitchell. In the photos taken, it could be seen that Harry was wearing a variety of different dresses and brightly colored blouses. While many people praised Harry for breaking down gender norms, there was also a lot of people who criticized him for wearing such feminine pieces, including many conservatives like Candace Owens, who called his Vogue cover an outright attack on the manly men. While his fans and other celebrities came to his defense, like Jamila Jamil, she would even come out in a tweet to say Harry Styles is plenty manly because manly is whatever you want it to be, not what some insecure toxic woman hating D-heads decided it was 100 years ago. He's 104% perfect. Harry also spoke out about the backlash, telling Variety to not wear something because it's feminine clothing. You should shut out a whole world of great clothes, and I think what's exciting about right now is I can wear whatever I want to. It doesn't have to be X or Y. Those lines are becoming more blurred. However, even actor Billy Porter would criticize the cover by saying he felt disconnected from the opportunities for being a gay black man. Coming in at number 8 today, we have the Harry House merchandise symbol. Since the release of his third studio album, Harry House, in May of 2022, fans have been eagerly waiting for Harry Styles to drop new merchandise. In August, when the new merchandise was finally announced, it would come with some serious backlash as fans would claim the two capital H's had some anti-Semitic roots, and the signs have been banned in various European countries. With Harry's symbol referencing a certain German symbol, as he would have his logos printed on hats, and he was selling them on tour. When Harry launched his second leg of his Love on tour, he would also release an array of new Harry House merch. And it was so popular, fans were even encouraged to visit the tour venues early to get their hands on it. However, when fans started to point out the Semitic symbol, Harry's team appeared to have responded to the backlash by replacing the hat with an amended version of it, with one fan tweeting, "I get it's supposed to stand for Harry House, but if I see someone walking around with HH on them, I'm gonna assume that it's not Harry Styles fans. I'm gonna assume that the HH means the same thing as 88. And another person even added, "Please take it out of the merch line because it's very triggering and hurtful, not towards Germans, but also especially towards Jewish people." Along with the hats, Harry also had a logo printed on his shirt and hoodies that were uploaded to his website, where you could purchase them before his team decided to change the logo. And number 7, song plagiarism accusations. Throughout the history of music, from time to time, thousands of cases of plagiarism allegations have been reported, with new controversies arising around copyrights in different parts of the the world, I don't think any of us were really shocked when fans in Argentina started targeting Harry Styles for plagiarizing his new single, As It Was. When the British artist shared on his social media a small preview of the song for a few seconds on December 13th detailing the song that will be available on April 1st, instantly Twitter started to claim that the preview of the song was identical to a song by an Argentina group, Miranda, called El Profe. A few hours later, the Latin American band would become a huge trend on Twitter, and when more tweets started to appear, they seemed to demand justice for the alleged creator for stealing a project from another music group. With his debut album, he also has been accused of using an identical guitar riff as the 1968 Beatles song Blackbird. But Harry tends to stay away from the attention. We definitely won't see him speak on this matter anytime soon unless it magically becomes a topic that truly matters to the star. Coming in number 6 today, we have ignored BLM sign. So back in 2017, after the release of his first solo album, Harry would embark on tour and he would start playing at a number of different shows. While he was acknowledging the LGBTQ flags and spoke out in support of women, fans would become slightly outraged when he chose to ignore the Black Lives Matter flags in the crowd. In a blog post written by Infinity, writer Victoria Monar would question why Styles had chosen to remain silent when it came to the Black Lives Matter issue and why he still hasn't used his massive platform to raise awareness for the issue. During a concert in London, audience members had been given signs that read Black Lives Matter, and one fan even ended up throwing their sign on the stage. Although Harry didn't pick up the sign or look at it, chose to completely ignore the flags and the signs, and he even proceeded to step on them on the stage. During an interview with New York Times, Style had even been asked if any outside chaos had influenced his solo album, referring to the issues of the Brexit, Black Lives Matter, and the American election at the time. Style would then go on to say, with a really vague answer, Sign of the Times had been looking at several different things. When he was asked what those kind of things were, he then told the interviewer everything you were talking about. At number 5, we have the Roy Moore joke. While guest hosting on the Late Late Show for James Corden back in 2017, Styles made a joke that didn't really go down quite as well with his fans that he thought it would, according to the Daily Mail. During his open monologue, Harry would even decide to make a joke about the Republican Senate, Roy Moore, who had just lost to a Democrat, Doug Jones, in Alabama, which is typically a state that tends to be a red state. Harry would then go on to say, if you're anything like me, the only thing that you and your friends are talking about at the moment is the Alabama state race. Many of you would think that I'm unfamiliar with Roy Moore for being a Brit. That is not true. I am very familiar with Roy Moore. I've had to throw him out of a dozen of my concerts. While the audience did have a good laugh at the joke, many fans on Twitter didn't share the same thought, with one user saying, "You think because he's Harry Styles he gets a pass, well sis he doesn't. You can keep screaming at the wall, but the rest of us will hold him accountable." Now, Harry has never issued an apology or acknowledging the joke after he received backlash for it, and you probably won't, especially since the controversy surrounding Roy Moore surrounds children. Coming at number 4 today, we have culture appropriation. Back when Harry was still in One Direction, he decided it would be a good idea to post a black and white photo of himself wearing a Native American headdress. With the photo receiving immediate backlash, a One Direction Twitter fan page called He's Problematic would be the first to comment on the photos after Harry uploaded them. The page would then say, Harry appropriated the Native American culture by posing in a native headdress and putting up a picture of himself in it on social media. People called him out for culture appropriation, but again, he never apologized for it. Now, it wasn't the first time that Harry has made some headlines about culture appropriation, as the page also called him out on retweeting pictures of himself in a digitalized blackface with other edits that mocked Black culture. And just like the issue with the headdress, he never issued an apology, even though people called him out for it. I think it would be a great time to note that culture appropriation is not nice regardless of the context or intent. So before you get braids or wear a headdress, maybe think about why these things are so sacred and why they hurt certain cultures, and admire them from afar and just leave it at that. After Harry's photos received a horrendous amount of backlash, he would take photos down and would proceed to stay quiet on the issue, as he has never issued an apology for his actions. And number 3, the Super Bowl announcement. So in 2020, Harry would announce that he would be performing at the Super Bowl event in Florida. According to the Metro, the announcement was immediately met with backlash. While many of Harry's fans urged the singer to pull out of the performance due to the NFL's racist past, especially with how they treated some former players, he ultimately decided to go ahead and perform at the NFL Pepsi Super Bowl party. With both the NFL and Pepsi being known for being racist, Harry's decision to perform at the event contradicts his claims to support Black Lives Matter, with his black fans requesting him to back out of the trend by creating a hashtag #HarryBackOut on Twitter. They would find themselves being ignored on social media, with the hashtag trending on social media. Many of Harry's fans would urge Harry to cancel his performance. While many people understood it might be hard for him not to perform due to his contractual agreement, they would encourage Harry to donate any money he made at the event to a Black Lives Matter organization, with one fan writing, "POC, fans have the right to feel valued and respected. And if they aren't, I understand that Harry can't back out. I understand that Harry can't back out because of a contract, but he can speak up more and he can donate to BLM or other causes." And while his fans made some amazing suggestions, Harry did not donate the money that he made at the event to any cause. Coming at number 2 today, we have Olivia Wilde. With 2022 being a big year for Harry Styles as he's been touring, the singer also got his break in acting as he had the chance to star in Don't Worry Darling and My Policeman. With both films releasing soon, none of us really know what to expect from the star, which makes the anticipation really high for these films. During an interview with Rolling Stone, Harry would extensively discuss his relationship with Olivia Wilde, which began after they met on the set of Don't Worry Darling. While Harry's fans tend to be really supportive of his new relationships, his relationship with Olivia is one his fans just can't get over, as they keep urging the star to leave her. With Olivia cheating on Jason Sudeikis to get with Harry Styles, there would soon be a lot of toxic negativity that started to surround Harry's relationship with Olivia. With having a 10-year age gap, fans would even start to make jokes and troll Olivia. Although she was a good sport when it came to the criticism, we all kept saying that there was something really off about her nice and friendly nature. And then the cast members of Don't Worry Darling started to speak up about how horrible she was to them on the set. And anyone who dates someone that horrible is known to be just as bad. And coming in at number 1 today, we have My Policeman. Harry Styles has been slammed by fans after making a comment that the film's deception of gay intimate scenes are usually 2 guys going at it. When the singer spoke to Rolling Stone about his new film, My Policeman, in which he plays a homosexual police officer hiding his sexuality in the 1950s, he would ignite some serious backlash when he spoke of his desire to express tenderness in the film's love scenes. Harry, who also detailed his refusal to confirm to a sexuality label to discuss his journey to figuring out his sexuality, said that the intimate scenes between the 2 men in the films is just them going at it, and it removes all the tenderness of love from it. Harry would then go on to know, "I would imagine that some people who watch it, who are very much alive during the time when it was illegal to be gay, and wanted to show that it is tender, loving, and sensitive." With one fan coming out to say, if he doesn't want to label himself, "I don't care, but he shouldn't be giving his opinion about a community that he doesn't even want to claim." Number 10. Culturally insensitive. In 2016, Hawaiians were demanding an apology from Jennifer Lawrence after she joked about scratching her butt on rocks that are considered sacred to the natives on the island. When the actress appeared on Graham Norton's show with Chris Pratt on December 2nd of 2016, she explained that she actually almost injured a crew member while the incident was occurring. She went on to say that these rocks are sacred. I don't know if they were ancestors, who knows, but they were sacred. Jennifer was only able to sit on the rocks because she was wearing a wetsuit. She then went on to joke about the rocks were good for butt itching, and that one rock she was scratching against ended up coming loose and almost seriously injuring the sound guy on set. What made matters worse is Jennifer laughed about the fact Hawaiians were horrified about the incident and that they were going on about a curse when it was actually just her who knocked over the rock. In Hawaii, removing any black sand or lava rocks is thought to be a bad luck caused by the Peel's curse. That's why the removal of rocks for souvenirs is considered taboo to their culture. Jennifer later apologized for the incident by saying she meant absolutely no disrespect about the fact and that she understands the way it was perceived was not funny and apologizes if she offended anyone. If we can learn anything about Jennifer's incident, it's just to leave sacred items alone. Number 9. Transphobic. In November 2012, Jennifer appeared on Ellen to promote the Silver Linings Playbook film and made some pretty serious comments that many said came across transphobic. Jennifer told Ellen that she had this cat and that she never met a cat where you assume at first it's a boy because cats are girls and dogs are boys. The star went on to note that her cat had this huge masculine energy, and for the first week of having her, everyone referred to her cat as he. Ultimately, the star decided to call her cat Oliver and brought her cat a collar with the name Oliver written on it. She then thought the name was not right and changed her cat's name to Chaz Bono. This started a huge outrage with fans because if you don't know who Chaz Bono is, he's a transgender male. Fans also pointed out that the whole comment was outrageous and transphobic. What may have been a joke to Lawrence was definitely not funny and extremely offensive to the LGBT community. Throughout the show, you could tell Ellen was really uncomfortable with the subject, and after Jennifer was done speaking, Ellen tried to gently educate the artist by saying, well, you know, multicolored cats are females, before quickly changing the subject. Number 8. Lindsay Lohan. Lindsay Lohan has had a pretty easy target over the last decade. However, the jokes have gotten pretty cliche. So when Jennifer made a joke about the actress in December of 2015 while appearing on the Late Night Show with Stephen Colbert, the joke fell a bit flat. She told Colbert that she gets Lindsay Lohan's great exhaustion but without the substance abuse. Lohan's sister quickly came to her sister's side to defend her after the show aired by saying, "I never breathe life into negativity, but I stand by my family. Disappointed in Jennifer Lawrence? You lost a fan." Lindsay responded to her sister by pretty much saying, "You can do anything to her, however, at the end of the day, she will rise and overcome any obstacle." Lindsay thanked her sister and threw some shade at Lawrence by saying, "Maybe whoever you're referring to should learn to support others like Maya Angelou." Even Diana Lohan came to say that the family loved Jennifer Lawrence and it was extremely unfortunate that she would use Lindsay's name to refer to not showing up on a set. And it's very difficult to see that Jennifer didn't have her peers back and that no matter who you are, you shouldn't trash anyone. Number 7. Getting miscast on purpose. When movie critics pointed out that Lawrence was a little too young to be playing a single mom in American Hustle at the age of 23 and then playing 40-year-old Joy in the movie Joy, she decided to laugh it off as a joke while appearing on Live with Kelly and Michael. She went on to say that David O. Russell is making a film and the plan so far is to have her play the mother of Bob De Niro. Star then went on to say, "I think more people that get mad and tell him I'm too young to be taking on these roles makes part of him think and say, yeah, just watch and see." Now, this whole statement wouldn't have been such a big deal, but at the time, Jennifer had just come out against sexism in the industry. However, in this industry, ageism and sexism go hand in hand, especially when it comes to casting females in movies. At this time of the whole interview, upset the fans because Jennifer didn't even seem fazed by her action. Hopefully by the time she turns 50, she can see why this was such a huge issue at the time and understands why many were so upset. Number 6. She talks a lot of smack about a lot of stars. In 2016, Jennifer appeared on Watch What Happened Live with Andy Cohen. During the show, she and her best friend Laura Sampson engaged in a game called Shush You BFF Flush. In this game, Lawrence would be asked a series of questions where she had to dish the tea on the meanest things she has ever said about any celebrity without actually revealing who that celebrity is. The star went on to say a lot of nicknames for certain celebrities. She said, "There's the lady, there's Pickle." And her best friend Laura went on to add that the lady has different variations. Raging Lady, the lady in red, the lady in waiting. The whole ordeal was just outrageous as the two went on to talk because Jennifer and best friend sounded like they have a whole lot of issues with other female stars. Number 5. David O. Russell. It's no secret Jennifer loves working with David O. Russell because he's given the star some iconic roles where she's been able to break the age barrier and and try something new. Lawrence loves David so much, she actually tears up whenever she talks about him. Many have pointed out that's probably because she has a better relationship with him than most actors do. However, David has a long track record of being aggressive with his castmates and crew. The New York Daily News report leaked Sony's executive emails, which showed an altercation between David O. Russell and co-star Amy Adams. The messages were so concerning that co-star Christian Bale had to step in and intervene. However, this isn't the only time Russell has overstepped his boundaries with another actor, as George Clooney once claimed he got into an altercation with the filmmaker after he was aggressive with his castmates and crew on the 2009 set Three Kings. A video has also since surfaced of an altercation where you can see Russell screaming at actress Lily Tomlin while filming the 2004 Hart Huckabee's film. Russell's bad behavior and Jennifer's support for the filmmaker is definitely concerning. However, he isn't the only controversial director Lawrence has deep affection for, as back in 2014, she told Vanity Fair that she worshipped Woody Allen. 4. Racially insensitive. In an interview with Entertainment Weekly, Lawrence revealed that she and her best friend, Amy Schumer, were working on a play together. She went on to say that the film was less than promising. She said that she and Amy played sisters and would go on a road trip to reconnect with their brother. She then said there was a twist and laughed about it being very hilarious and that it was incredibly offensive. The star then went on to say she made a tagline that she wanted to put on the movie's poster, and it said, "Minorities will be offended and so will all white people." There's definitely other ways to be funny than to be racist, and if you think a joke might just hurt someone, probably shouldn't say it. Unfortunately for the situation of Jennifer's shadiness and Amy's shocking and often tasteless jokes, Jennifer definitely wasn't exaggerating with her descriptions. 3. She lies a lot. While trying to be relatable, Jennifer has a really hard time telling the truth. For an example, she once told a story on Late Night with Seth Meyers about how she vomited at Madonna's 2014 Oscar party and Miley Cyrus had to tell her to get it together. While some amused to know if the statement was true, Miley shortly tweeted that the incident was not true and it never happened. And this wouldn't be the first time Jennifer has gone on to use another celebrity's name to create a fictionalized story, because she also claimed to have followed John Stamos around a party and she really freaked out because she was a huge fan. She then went on to tell Late Night host Cohen Brian that he offered her a substance and she said no. However, when the Full House star was later asked about the incident, he was shocked and tweeted that it was a complete lie, proving that Lawrence can't be trusted when it comes to her speaking about other celebrities. Number 2. Her falls are fake. In 2013, when the star tripped on her way up the stairs to accept her Oscar, the fall to many of us was endearing and adorable. However, it just kept happening. In 2015 at the Oscars, she fell on the red carpet, making even Jared Leto question if the incidents were all just an act. And then came the evidence to prove his theory correct. For Lawrence's part, she may be thinking she's doing the right thing when asked about her deliberate falls and clumsiness. Jennifer told Marie Claire that she just was trying to do the right thing. Waving to her fans, the star went on to say all of a sudden there was a traffic cone. The second I hit it, I was laughing, but on the inside, I was like, oops. They're totally going to think it was an act. She then noted that even if she was Jared Leto, she would completely agree with the fact that she was faking the falls. It's definitely something we should keep an eye on, because even though the star went on to say she would have never done it at the Oscar twice in a row, I think that's exactly what she would have done. Number 1. Political views. For years it took Jennifer to feel comfortable about sharing her thoughts on political matters. However, over time she's gotten used to speaking her mind about everything from pay equity and who should be the president of the United States. However, her comments to Trump proved that it's best to keep quiet when it comes to political opinions. With Trump winning the 2016 election, Lawrence was left heartbroken and didn't hold anything back, and her whole ordeal to follow had her saying some pretty serious comments. In 2016, she even told Graham Norton one time she was at the same concert with Trump and she even wanted to go up to him and give him a piece of her mind. And then in 2017, she told Oprah that she already had planned out what she would say to former President of the United States if she had the chance to meet him. And it wasn't nice, and her actions that would have followed wouldn't have been so nice either. Many would go on to accuse Lawrence of taking her criticism too far, but this didn't scare the actress into staying quiet, as post-election later she would tell fans not to be afraid to be loud and heard. And number 10, we have trying to dress up. Recently, Justin Bieber was spotted on a tour while visiting Tokyo. However, the star looked different than what fans were used to seeing. In the pictures circulating on social media, the singer can be seen wearing a wig. With the accessory, he's also seen wearing sunglasses, jeans, and a light fur coat. Justin's level of disguise has definitely been causing a stir on the internet, with some fans even pointing out they wouldn't have even realized it was him if it wasn't pointed out. Other fans have even gone to say, "Oh, spare us, Justin, it's already starting to look like a pattern." And wow, he really doesn't want to be recognized, does he? And to add a cherry on top of Justin's odd behavior, one fan would even pick fun at the pop star by saying, "What a great idea to walk next to Hailey, just so no one would recognize her." Well, it's safe to say that Justin probably should work on upping his level of disguise, because this definitely did not work. And number 9, abandoning a monkey in a foreign country. After Justin's pet monkey, Mally, was seized by the German officials when the singer was trying to bring the animal into the country without permission during a stop on his Believe tour. It said that Justin didn't have some proper paperwork, so the authorities seized the monkey and quarantined it at the airport. However, the monkey would later become property of Germany, and Justin would later be sent a bill of $1,500 after he decided to abandon his monkey in the country. Mally is currently living with a group of other monkeys in a wildlife refugee in North Germany, and Bieber still owes Germany's Federal Agency of Nature Conservation $11,000 for vaccinations and rehoming fees, which is truly disappointing. This was your pet and you left him behind, you didn't even try to get him back. This was definitely a red flag, and it showed that the star isn't someone we thought he was, and we really should have noticed. And number 8, ordered his bodyguards to carry him. When visiting China, you have to visit the Great Wall. That's just a given. However, Justin Bieber's visit would definitely highlight one giant red flag that many of us missed. When visiting the wall, photos of Justin would soon circulate online, showing Justin being hoisted on top of his bodyguard's shoulders like they were his minions, and they even carried him up the Great Wall of China. Now, Justin was definitely able to walk up the wall himself, as just before his adventure, he was spotted skateboarding around town as 2 of his security guard members jogged behind him. It was definitely a diva-like move that none of us could get over, and it was a shame to see the star deprived himself of a chance to experience the experience and made his security team do the hard work for him. And number 7, banned for life from a skydiving facility. Las Vegas indoor skydiving confirmed back in 2013 that Justin Bieber would be banned for life after he used the facility and then backed out of a payment deal he arranged with the company. Justin and 6 of his entourage members would arrive to the facility just before it closed. When the pop star was approached about a payment method, he was apparently given the option of shelling out $1,600 for himself and his crew, or posting a shout out of the facility and a photo of himself mid-flight to his Instagram account. Justin at the time reportedly agreed to post a photo as payment, but the company never got their $1,600 worth of publicity, and they would say he actually faked like he was posting something. As per the agreement, it never actually happened. In addition to not paying, the group also didn't tip the staff, even after they stayed late to accommodate their needs. And number 6, ignored pilots. In 2014, CNN would report that Justin and his father allegedly refused a pilot's warning to stop smoking during a flight from Canada to New Jersey. Law enforcement officials would later give details that the flight crew on the charter jet told the federal officials after they ferried Justin and his entourage to New Jersey. The smoke was so strong in the cabin that the flight crew members even had to put on oxygen masks because they were concerned that they would inhale so much of it, it would cause their tests to say that they were positive for being under the influence. When the pilots asked the group to stop, Bieber and his father would begin to have some words with the crew, which would result in the pilots in attendance to close the cockpit to avoid contact with the group. When they landed, Justin would be granted re-entry into the United States after a search of the charter plane was done by federal officials. They did detect smoke smell, but they never found any signs of substances. And number 5, his dreadlock phase. Justin doesn't do too well with apologies, we all know that. When the singer debuted his dreadlocks, he sparked some major controversy as fans started to accuse the star of cultural appropriation and white privilege. With fans calling out Justin for not being himself, many stated that the star could have done better. One fan even chimed in by saying, "It's really disappointed to see you with dreads. I thought you educated yourself." The star then decided to stick with his dreadlocks and refused to respond to the backlash he was receiving by fans. Instead, he decided to share a statement about acknowledging insecurities by saying, "Aren't we all broken? We can hide behind superficial things, but the truth is, we're all hurting." So what's your opinion on celebrities trying to rock braids and dreadlocks? And let me know in the comments below. And number 4, he talked about becoming the next Michael Jackson. In an interview done back in 2012, Justin Bieber would make it clear that he wants to be nothing less than the next Michael Jackson, the new king of pop, after he would go on to say that, "That's where I want to be. I don't want to just be a heartthrob teen." Now when someone starts saying that they want to be the next anyone, it should be a giant red flag, especially when they're trying to say they want to be the next Michael Jackson, because no one will ever be the next Michael Jackson, that's just a given. Bieber would go on to borrow machine-like dance moves, glitter gloves, and he even copied Michael's signature move in like a gentle way, I guess. This would definitely become a major red flag, and we were missing it because he was trying so hard to be someone he's not, rather than just being himself and allowing his fans to appreciate who he really is. And number 3, running around town in his undergarments. In 2020, Justin would be pictured running around downtown LA in his Calvin Klein briefs after shooting a music video all night. When photos started circulating online, it would show the star wearing nothing but briefs as he raised his arm above his head and smiled as he walked towards his trailer. And this wasn't the first time Justin's been spotted in public wearing nothing but his briefs, because back in 2018, it would seem like Justin forgot his bathing suit while on a trip to Miami after he was pictured out for a little dip wearing nothing but his white briefs. In the photos, Justin could be seen hanging out with his friends by the resort pool, wearing nothing but a wet pair of Calvin Klein boxer briefs before wrapping himself in a white towel before things became too revealing. Him and Haley would also be pictured later on in a hot tub as fans would call for the star to put on some clothes. And at number 2, we have meeting Stephen Harper in overalls. So back when Stephen Harper was still the Prime Minister of Canada, Justin had the chance to meet him back in 2012. However, his outfit choice was definitely interesting. When the singer stepped out in overalls to accept a Diamond Jubilee medal from Stephen Harper, he would go on to tweet, "I met the Prime Minister in overalls, LOL." Justin would later try to justify why he opted to wear overalls to such an event by saying, "It wasn't like I was going to his environment, we were at a hockey arena." And while he may have been at a hockey arena, he was receiving such a high-class award that it was only given to Canadians who earned achievements abroad, and he wore overalls to collect this achievement. Now, 50 years ago, if you pulled this move while going into work, they would have sent you home, so a lot of people were judging Bieber's decision to wear the overalls, and his excuse to trying to stay true to his fans and his own vibe, it was pretty weak. And at number 1 today, we have showing up late for shows. In 2013, Justin Bieber would be 2 hours late for a concert because he was playing video games and threw a tantrum. When Justin was set to perform at O2, he would end up being 2 hours late after throwing a massive tantrum and telling his staff that it was his gig and he would go out when he wanted to. After waking up late due to a night out, Justin would proceed to lock himself in a dressing room to play computer games. After, his actions would cause hundreds of teenage fans to be upset because they would have to leave to catch last trains before even getting the chance to see their idol perform. Justin would later come out to say he was only 40 minutes late, and he said he had to come on late due to technical difficulties. He then highlighted that the event was great. However, one O2 worker would come out to say that wasn't the case, and the star was actually backstage arguing with his management team. Justin's mentality about being a star that can do whatever he wanted that night was definitely a red flag that no one really noticed. And number 10, pricey tickets. Now, it's been hard to follow the Ticketmaster scandal since it erupted across social media this past week. However, the ticket prices should have been a huge red flag for any fans before they even tried to purchase the tickets. For those who were able to purchase tickets, they became victims of a dynamic pricing which forced them to pay amounts well above the established ticketing price. even for nosebleed seats. And don't even get me started about the fees, as the fees added up to be more than half the ticket price. This was all before considering the resale, as front row tickets started at $20,000. Now, even resale sites have the ticket prices marked up to tens of thousands of dollars per seat. So it looks like most of us will be listening to Taylor Swift play in the comforts of our car in the parking lot outside of the event, because that seems more reasonable compared to the ticket prices. And number 9, hours online. Fans who tried to score tickets last Tuesday would skip school and work just to spend hours online for the chance to receive tickets. And the tweets that came with it were pretty hilarious to read, with one user writing, "If Chick-fil-A was in charge of the Ticketmaster queue, I would have had Taylor Swift tickets within minutes, just saying." Fans would also even start a movement using Ticketmaster is over party hashtag. Now, such chaos surrounding ticket sales isn't uncommon. However, if you're a fan that decided to skip school and work just to get a verified code so you could purchase tickets, I hope you got your tickets, because school and money is definitely more important than stressing yourself out over a little concert. Hey my peaches, are you enjoying this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And number 8, endless queues. After fans received a verified pre-sale code, thousands would head to Ticketmaster to purchase tickets. However, the horror that would arise when fans hit the site would leave many unhappy. The pre-sale would leave many fans stuck in hour-long queues, with more than 2,000 plus people ahead of them trying to grab tickets for the Eras tour, Taylor's first tour in 4 years. The queues were made so Ticketmaster could distinguish who was a bot and who was really buying tickets, and it definitely came with some major flaws. I don't know what's more concerning, the fact that queues were 2,000 people long, or the fact that some of you actually spent 6 to 8 hours waiting in a queue just to grab a ticket. I mean, that's some serious commitment, and some of you weren't even going to meet the singer. So was it worth waiting in these lines, and were you actually able to nab a ticket? If so, let me know in the comments below. Number 7, fans kicked off the queues. So roughly 3.5 million people signed up for the chance to buy Taylor Swift tickets in advance sales. This would make her tour have the largest registration in pop music history. However, later Ticketmaster would say they received more than 3.5 billion system requests to buy the tickets last Tuesday. Anyone looking to grab seats definitely was a little surprised when they had to wait in an hour-long queue. Some fans, just when it was finally their turn to grab a ticket, they were booted out of the system and forced to return to the bottom of the queue, which was filled with even more people. One fan even took to Twitter to say, "When you spend 6 hours waiting in a queue and finally get through, only for Ticketmaster to say you haven't signed into your account, even though you are, and then put you back in a queue with 2,000 people ahead of you again." And then some people didn't even make it to the end of the queue before they were kicked off the site and forced to try again multiple times. I'm sorry, but that's some serious commitment just to grab a ticket. And number 6, Ticketmaster canceled sales. The whole process to buy a Taylor Swift ticket became such a huge messy disaster that Ticketmaster would eventually come to the final decision to cancel the public sale for Taylor Swift the Eras tour. The company would cite extraordinarily high demands on ticketing systems and insufficient remaining ticket inventory as the reasons to why they were pulling the plug on general pre-sale early. With the high demands of fans trying to buy tickets, Taylor would have to perform over 900 stadium shows just to meet the demands of people trying to buy tickets. So I guess Ticketmaster made a pretty smart move there. And number 5, money taken from fans' accounts when the system crashed. Some fans, before they were kicked off the system, were actually waiting for their cards to process just to get their tickets. However, some of these fans would still end up being charged without receiving the ticket, and one unlucky fan actually ended up getting charged 14 times, and she still didn't get a ticket. In a now viral tweet by Twitter user Sydney Sarah 1, that she shared that she waited all day in a virtual queue for tickets after she noticed that she was allegedly charged 14 times despite not even successfully getting the concert tickets. The user took to Twitter to say, "Waited in a line for Taylor Swift tickets for 8 hours today, and SeatGeek charged me 14 plus times for tickets I wasn't even able to purchase. So now my bank accounts, happened on multiple cards, are frozen. I'm broke, it overdrafted my accounts, and I did not get the tickets." She would then even post bank receipts to back up her post. SeatGeek did eventually end up reaching out to her to provide a refund, so now all she has to do is wait for the money to come back in. 4. The tour announcement. When Taylor Swift announced her tour, it should have been a red flag to all of us, even before we jumped on the internet to purchase tickets. I get it, it's been 4 years since Taylor did her last tour, and with everything going on in the world, it would have been the perfect event to clear your mind and to help you believe that everything's finally getting back to normal. It was said that tickets could be purchased earlier for Capital One credit card holders. It should have been speaking red flags, as pretty much everyone in America owns a Capital One credit card. And there wasn't a limit on how many people could sign up for the pre-sale, meaning you all should have known that there was going to be problems purchasing tickets, with 3.5 million people signing up to get the pre-order ticket code and about 3.5 billion of you trying to get on the platform to buy tickets. Did you really expect the internet not to crash in the process? And number 3, investigation being launched. With many fans being left empty-handed, state officials are now involved in an investigation to see what went wrong. In Tennessee, the Attorney General would even announce that his office is investigating whether Capital One pre-sale through Ticketmaster violated protection laws. Even a United States representative said that Ticketmaster is a monopoly, its merger with Live Nation, and it should have never happened or been approved of in the first place. Even Joe Biden would take to Twitter about the fees and would say, "I know hidden junk fees like processing fees on concert tickets are just a pain. They're unfair, deceptive, and add up. That's why last week I called on my administration to crack down on these fees and put the money back into your pockets." Hopefully he can do that, because those fees were ridiculous and it should have been illegal. And number 2, Taylor's response. Taylor Swift was just as unhappy about the ticket sale situation as her fans, and she took to her Instagram to post a 3-paragraph response. Taylor would go on to say, "Well, it goes without saying that I'm extremely protective of my fans. We've been doing this for decades together, and over the years, I brought many elements of my career in-house. I've done this specifically to improve quality of my fans' experience by doing it myself with my team who cares about my fans as I do. It's really difficult for me to trust an outside entity with these relationship loyalties, and it's excruciating for me to watch mistakes happen with no recourse. There are a multitude of reasons why people have such a hard time trying to get tickets, and I'm trying to figure out how this situation can be improved moving forward. I'm not trying to make excuses for anyone, because we asked them multiple times if they could handle this kind of demand, and we were assured they could." Taylor then went on to say she was truly amazed that 2.4 million people were able to get tickets during this mess, and she was really upset about the trouble fans went just to try to grab a ticket. And at number 1 today, we have Ticketmaster's apology. After Ticketmaster decided to cancel the general sale for Taylor Swift's upcoming Eras tour, they would issue an apology to Taylor Swift and her fans with a lengthy explanation. The company would go on to say, "First, we want to apologize to Taylor and all of her fans, especially those who had a terrible experience trying to purchase tickets. Next, we feel we owe it to everyone to share some information to help explain what happened." They would then go on to explain their verified fan registration process was intended to help manage high demands of sales and weed out bots. They also explained that 3.5 million people pre-registered, and that they only sent out codes to 1.5 million users to join the sale, and that 2 million people were placed on a waiting list. They then went on to say that only 15% of users actually experienced issues getting tickets, and they blamed that on the traffic and staggering number of bot attacks. However, we all know they weren't ready to deal with the high demand of clients, and they honestly need to create a better system, because this was not it.